How to Win Friends and Influence People was a book written by,
Dale Carnegie.
and we don't know who Dale Carnegie is.
No, actually, I mean, I know he's a great author. I don't know what he did before being an author, though.
I haven't read this book. I've heard a lot about this book. I looked up some summary points
Mm.
from this. I don't know if I'm ever going to read the book.
Oh,
But I
no?
don't like the title, How to Win Friends.
Why?
Because do you need to win friends or do you attract friends? I think you attract friends.
I would agree with you.
Now, your point earlier when I shared this opinion with you was that there needs to be a strategy. But I honestly think, like, all my life,
Yeah.
maybe in recent time, like in the professional space, I've had some sort of a strategy, you could say. But in life,
Yeah.
I just made friends that vibed well with me.
Mhm.
As long as they,
Oh, Quant.
as long as they were normal people and I
Yeah.
vibed with them, they were cool. They were my friends.
You trying to say I'm a normal person?
You're an anomaly.
Thank you.
You're unlike any of my friends, to be
Appreciate
honest.
that.
No, but I had
Yeah.
no strategy, man. I don't think so.
So, now stating that, the point of the book isn't actually to win friends and make them like best friends like you and I, right? That's not actually the points. How to basically strategize and get things the way you want them without telling the person that you want them. It's basically convincing people that you're a good person, a appropriate person, without shoving it down their throat. And so there's a bunch. I mean, there's tons of chapters. I have all the chapters here, and then bullet points, and we can go through some of them, so I can explain basically how it works. In terms of like business, in terms of if you're trying to get certain things, it's probably a genius book. It's probably the most genius book in terms of communication style that's ever been written. So if you're trying to win friends, and you're trying to win somebody over to be your best friend, then you're probably reading the wrong book.
I like the second half of the title, How to Influence People. Because there is definitely an art to influencing people.
Yes.
There's definitely strategy involved. Yes.
And it doesn't. It sounds like it's a negative connotation, right? Influencing people. No, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be. I see it in many ways. You can influence people to do so many things. It could be good or bad.
Right.
Depends on the person and what you're trying to influence.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us to Robert Greene's book, right? 48 Laws of Power, and how he kind of uses the influence in a negative way. And did you know that 48 Laws of Power is actually illegal in prisons?
I have heard of this.
You've heard that?
Yes.
Is that insane?
Listen, that should not be right. You should not have censorship of books.
Yeah.
So they're basically saying...
You get their point, though.
Yeah, I get it, but they're saying, this will free the prisoners mentally, and they'll figure out a way to escape.
No.
In a sense.
No. So what it's basically saying is through these laws of power Robert Greene established, the prisoners will go ahead and influence other prisoners to do what they want, and they'll because they are their own society.
They'll band together.
Not only band together, but they can some of the prison leaders, right? What they can do is they'll manipulate. That's what it is. It's manipulation over influence. So some of the prison leaders will manipulate these guys into believing certain things.
What about the guards?
Not much to do with the guards. But for sure, the reason it's illegal is because they have their own society in prison, right? And if you can manipulate people into doing certain things, then by default you have inordinate more power than other people in prison.
Wow.
Yeah. But in terms of Dale Carnegie, for example, so in part 1, the first chapter is if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive.
Explain that.
Okay. So don't criticize, condemn, or complain, basically. So what Dale is trying to establish here is if you're trying to have you heard that saying about honey?
No.
How do you attract?
Explain it to me.
It's how do you attract bees, basically? You bring honey. You don't give them water, basically, right? So if you want to attract bees to your side, you give them honey. You don't go ahead and kick over their beehive. So you don't attack them. You don't complain about what they're doing, condemn them for their thoughts. You kind of appreciate their thoughts, right? Even if they're not correct, you appreciate things that they're coming from places they're coming from, things that they're saying. And once you're able to establish that there's some appreciation, they'll naturally have a more affinity towards you. So when you say certain things that you want or certain things that are interesting,
Yeah.
right, they'll gravitate towards that.
What's the second point after that?
So second chapter is the big secret of dealing with people. Give honest and sincere appreciation.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, now that I'm reflecting back
Yeah.
on influencing people, if that's the term we want to use, I think there is only there's not only one answer, but my answer so far has been to empower people. Once you start empowering people, because I think that all that you're describing basically
that what you
leads
just
to
said?
empowering people.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to make sure that you're bringing out the best in other people. At times you'll fail at that, but as long as you keep trying to make the best out of people, they'll respect you. They'll be more likely to not agree, but they'll be on your side.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They'll be on your side
100%.
more if as long as they understand and recognize the fact that this person is trying to bring out the best in me,
Right.
and that is reciprocal.
I agree, man. And if they're still argumentative towards you, I genuinely feel that inside they're going to feel stupid about what they're doing. Because if somebody's trying to empower you and you're trying to reject that empowerment, you're trying to reject that positivity, they're not going to be, they're going to feel like, what am I actually doing right now? I'm doing it out of anger, I'm doing it out of whatever, but they're not going to naturally feel right about what they're doing.
And the key is you have to be honest and sincere.
Yeah.
It honestly, like all BS aside, you can't come from a place of like wanting something out of this person. If you genuinely want best for other people,
Yeah.
that shows. Because
agree.
there's so many times where people will compliment you, right?
Mm.
Like, oh my God, dude. This happened today.
Okay.
This kid said, I'm a prodigy at comedy. This guy is like
Really?
a third-year junior in college, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, buddy. He was like, dude, and he was being honest, and he's a little socially awkward, so I was like, okay.
Uh-huh.
But he was like, dude, I crack out loud every single time you post something, and I'm like, okay.
That you're the prodigy.
Yeah, like I'm the prodigy. I was like, okay.
I thought you were saying he was saying
No,
that
no,
he's
no,
the
no.
Oh,
He was telling
okay.
me- I was like,
Oh, that's
okay.
nice of him.
That's nice of him. But yeah,
Okay.
but it's like the thing is, I've seen the pattern in him. Is the thing is he tries to please other people
Uh-huh.
by complimenting them. Like his way of letting go of social anxiety is by like elevating the other person so high up
Yeah.
that it's just like majestic. A prodigy. I don't think I'm a prodigy. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah,
I
I
get
get
what he
what
was
you're
saying.
saying.
Like,
Yeah.
he enjoys my stuff. Thank you.
You're right.
I didn't like tell him every single thing I'm telling you right now. But
Right,
just like in a blink second, I was like, this guy.
You got the feel.
Somebody has to sit down with this
Mm.
guy and be like, it's okay, bro. You can just, make fun of somebody. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to compliment somebody all the time because he does this
Yeah.
with other people as well. Like he's very complimentary, and
Okay.
that is not something you should do so heavily. Like
Yeah.
don't.
You know this guy?
Yeah, I know him pretty
Okay.
well, but like,
Yeah.
it's not like we're not tight, but
I
I see
getcha.
him
Yeah, yeah,
every
I
now and
getcha.
then. But my point is like the compliments that you do give people should come out of a place of sincerity.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be just for the sake of it, just so the other person thinks more highly of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because
I
like
agree.
a lot of the times people can tell, like they know their actual worth. They know
Right.
like they know if they are truly amazing or great at something.
Yeah.
Or some don't actually. Some just live in delusion. But yeah, for the most part, people do know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with the reason because people like know their worth or if it's bullshit or whatever. But I think whenever, I mean, this is just the way I feel. If I'm complimenting somebody, it's not just to compliment them. I'm hoping that my compliments hold weight, right? I'm not just saying this is great or that is great or you're doing well and everything. But when there's something truly going well, then I'm gonna compliment, right? And I hope it holds weight because it's truthful. What are you loud about?
No, it does need to like hold weight.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree. I was just thinking the way you said prodigy. I was like, I was confused for a second. I was like, prodigy. I was like,
Did you laugh?
no, I was
Oh.
just confused. I was like, what is this guy saying?
This is the big problem, bro. I think everyone sees it, especially in LA, man. There's so much insincerity going on, dude. It's just because everyone's trying to win everybody over. That's what
Yeah.
he's getting at, right? It's easy to think that you can win somebody over by complimenting them. But realistically, if you're trying to get in a certain sphere of people and you're just complimenting everybody, and the thing is, if you're that person that's powerful and that has that has this power that other people want to be in, everyone's complimenting you.